Okay, just going to adjust my microphone and all like that there. Hey, welcome, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo, transformational astrology. Let's up your vibe. What? Up your vibe? What does that mean? Let's raise your frequency, especially in this Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Well, we're going to have some fun. But first, let me gather my essentials. Got my pen, my paper, my brain. So I was talking about, well, I'm home in my office now, and we came home to there was a huge snowstorm here in Sedona where literally Sedona shut down for a couple of days. And we got out before it happened and then came back to see the after effects. And in one of my chats, I was talking about Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and when that occurs, sometimes there's a lot of water issues. That can be your pipes are freezing, or it snows, rain, sleet, hail, all the water stuff. Or you have a need to cry, and you don't know why. Or fountains will help you to feel better. So I thought, gosh, well, I guess all this snow, because our driveway was blocked, I guess all this snow is part of that water stuff I was expecting. And just ready to deal with whatever. And then this morning I went to take a shower and it was freezing cold. So I realized I never turned up the hot water heater when we got back. So that was my water issue. What was yours? Hi, Wendy. Hi, Christine. Thanks. Yeah, that was a trip. Setting up my chat to do away from my office because I have everything in place. So I just have to turn on some things. But that was, an experience. Let's call it that. So who's here? Give me a hoo-ha. Who's here? Say hello to me. Come and say hello to me. I was just looking for some of my crystals the other day to work with, and I found this peridot, and I was very drawn to it. And if you don't know what peridot is, it's this very greenish kind of stone. I don't have it backlit, but it's really beautiful when you see it up close. And it almost looks like lime candy. And so I've been hanging out with this little guy, just having my fun time. All right, we're going to be doing a couple of techniques, actually one specific technique. So if you're in a place where you can, grab a pen and a piece of paper. In a little bit, we're going to help you get clear, because I really want to help you get clear in this Mercury in retrograde. And people go, get clear in a retrograde? How is that possible? Well, it is, actually. It really is. And sometimes we think, okay, I'm just going to do my thing. And we go squirrel, we get distracted. Things come up we weren't expecting. We juggle a lot. Hi, Claudia. We do things, it looks like smoke is in our face and we just can't get clear on stuff sometimes. And we'll have a recurring issue. In any retrograde, we will have a recurring issue. So some of the basics first. Number one, the planets don't do anything to you. If you're new to me, you've heard me say this a million times. I will continue to say it. The planets don't do anything to you. You live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that. And it's like looking at astrology as a clock. That's or watch, actually. So here's my astrology watch that I got for Christmas. Thank you, Dean. And astrology tells you what time it is. What would you like to do with the time that you have? That's the question. So when I look at aspects now, I'm looking at the chart that I have open. So the sun is in Pisces right now, and it's conjunct. Well, it's an outside conjunction. The planet Neptune is in Pisces. Mercury is in Pisces, about to go retrograde. We're actually in the pre-phase of it. So the planetary information, it doesn't mean that this is happening to you. It means I'm looking at your timing. And you might think, well, how does one chart represent all of humanity? Well, it depends on the individual, right? So we've got Saturn in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn, and all this Capricorn energy says something. It's like reading the clock. What time is it for you? Mars is in Taurus right now. I'm a Taurus. My husband's a Taurus rising. And does it mean that the planet is doing something to me? Am I more aggressive? Am I more impatient? My timing is such that I have a lot to do right now. And now is when I've rolled up my sleeves and I'm ready to get to it. So that's my timing. Hi, Sunny from Wyoming. I've not been, but it's such a beautiful place. And I would like to go someday. Maybe I'll come visit you. All right. What I want you to realize is that when a planet moves into retrograde motion, any planet, and of course, remember the sun and moon are not planets, and so they never go retrograde. But when a planet moves into retrograde motion, what happens is your timing is such that you're ready to go in and review something, to revisit, review, renegotiate, renew, and or release. That's what a retrograde will any retrograde will show you. A Mercury in retrograde will show you your thoughts and your perceptions and your beliefs and your judgments. And so what comes back is communication. Maybe you started writing a poem 6 months ago and you're like, nah, put it aside. I had other stuff to do. And it comes back and you say, you know what? I really want to finish that poem. Mercury deals with communication. So anything dealing with how you communicate internally, how you express externally is what's going to come up. So Claudia says, OMG, same here. I'm a Taurus sun, Cancer rising, and a Libra moon. Yay. You're welcome for me saying this. All right. So eventually soon, I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to show you how to get clear in a Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. Now, in the meantime, I do have 5 spots left for my Mercury in retrograde reading. And a lot of the information will be evergreen because it's not just going to be about this particular Mercury in retrograde. It's going to be where it's showing up in your chart, but also what it has to do with your life. And so I'll have to look at your life. So find the blue button on the page and click that, the book now button. And if Dean is here, he can also post a link. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I'll take a sip of my stuff. So Neptune has a lot to do with illusion. The definitions are illusion, denial, but ultimately unfinished business. So think about your unfinished business. What might that look like? Now you've got bills to pay, you have people, you didn't get answers from, you're looking for things and you're not getting answers and you're going in circles. What's your unfinished business? Well, what I'm talking about essentially is the same thing that keeps recurring over and over and over again. Like you make money and then you spend it and then you're not saving it. Why? And you say, well, everything's expensive. I am on a fixed income. I only, but I budget. I can't seem to get ahead. What's that about? Really? Let's say you keep attracting the same kind of employer over and over and over again. And you think, who are all these people? Why are they so mean and ornery? Why? Well, they're there because of you. So or let's say you're, you and your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend or your significant other keep going around the same block again and again with the same argument, the same issue over and over. Nothing is changing. Why? Why? Well, sometimes we can't get clear. We just get stuck in the details of what is. And then we have the chatter around it, and this and that happened and this happened and this, stuff happens. I also write historical fiction. And I'm working on really expanding myself as an author, as a writer. And all of the people I've studied with, and my husband is a phenomenal editor and a writer. And he will say to me, Dean will say to me, just look at what the story is about. What is the story? What's the one big idea? That's the name of his business, marketing business. What's the one big idea? Here's a story. Something happens, stuff happens, and then more stuff happens. So that's life, really. Like we get lost in the stuff. Why do we love to binge watch shows? Because we get lost in the characters and the story, and we want it to go on and continue. And other than that, other than it being very entertaining, it's a great distraction from who you are and what you're really meant to be doing, right? thumbs up to people who can relate to that. So I want you to really think about a couple of things. And sometimes we can't get clear because we can't see through our veil, and we don't know sometimes why the thing keeps happening or why it keeps recurring or why it keeps, it's like, I went to counseling and I thought I dealt with that issue, and here it is again. And I'm tired of it. And so what I want to show you is grab a piece of paper now and a pen. Remember, this is transformational astrology. I'm not sure if you're going to hear the same kind of stuff from other astrologers, because they might say, oh, well, Pluto is conjunct Venus right now and in Capricorn. So you want to get really sober about how you and so there'd be great definitions and great information. I know a lot of great astrologers, but the thing I want to impart to you is that nothing outside of you is controlling you. Okay? You have the power to change anything you want on the inside. Now, it's not always easy. Granted, I understand. But if you look at your life and you say, what about this thing that keeps happening over and over? Well, I guess it's just what it is. I have to ignore it. Or I'm just going to, do something else. I just can't do this anymore. And then you might leave a relationship, never change anything about yourself, your judgments, your perceptions, your patterns, your thoughts, your beliefs. And then you attract somebody else. And at first it seems like new. Oh, it's new. This is a different person, not the same. And then a few months, a few years later, it's like, here I am again. What's that about? And so this is what I want you to really understand. Pisces is guided by the planet Neptune. And the Pisces energy for anyone is all about the illusion and also the dream and the ideal vision. So on the downside, you might feel like a victim. On the upside, you might feel like a dreamer who's ready to put something into the world that is beautiful, that other people can benefit by. So which one do you want to be? Which way do you want to go? And now Pisces energy will not just show you one way, because think of fish. Oh, here's the symbol of Pisces for those who are not familiar. This is the symbol of Pisces, and it's represented by two fish going in opposite directions. And because it's what's called a mutable energy. And so just imagine fish in the ocean, and they're swimming along, and suddenly they just, the tide comes by and it feels warmer, so they go that way. Why not? That feels good, And Pisces person might be very creative. They might be stuck in illusion, like a false reality, because it's too harsh to look at the real, whatever that means, world. And so when we have an occurrence like a Mercury in retrograde. Oh, by the way, here's what Mercury looks like in retrograde. That's the symbol of Mercury. And the RX does not mean medicine. It in astrology, it means retrograde. So with this happening in Pisces, sometimes the belief is such that, as I said, remember, things come back and people come back, issues come back. They resurface in a retrograde. So you might ask yourself, gosh, this thing is coming back. And it may have nothing to do with anyone in the world. Suddenly you feel something. I felt, I was doing a Tai Chi class the other day, and I suddenly, where normally I feel oddly energized after Tai Chi because I'm connecting with all parts of me, body, mind, spirit. And there was, there's always alignment. But after this one Tai Chi class, I felt really sad. And I thought, oh gosh, okay, I don't know why. I'll just have to go with it. So I sat in the car after class and I did my EFT tapping on whatever it is, just what it is, just naming what it is sometimes, not why it is or what's the cause of it. That can take you down roads that can get confusing. So sometimes you can just start with what it is. I feel sad. I'm sad. I feel sad. I feel sad. And then once that suddenly doesn't resonate anymore, then up will spring the next, oh, gee, I feel unproductive. Oh, maybe that's why I feel sad. Who knows? Let's just go with it. I feel unproductive. So I did my EFT tapping. And after about 20 minutes, it was like a wave came and took away all the stuff that I had been feeling. And I got to the core of what I was feeling. And it wasn't so much sadness. It was a time issue, thinking that time was passing. and I wasn't accomplishing what I wanted to do in that time. But the first thing I felt was sad. And I didn't put it on anything. I didn't say, oh, Dean said something that made me feel sad, or my daughter's away and that makes me feel sad because she's at college. I didn't put it on anything. That's the perception part of Mercury in retrograde. Stay away from trying to define it, except when it comes to this exercise that we're going to do right now. So grab a pen. And first of all, wait, before we go anywhere, what recurring issue keeps coming back for you? What's coming back for you? And I'm going to get my happy cards as well. What keeps coming back for you? You can't seem to get ahead in business, or you don't understand why you can't hold on to cash, or why does your boyfriend, spouse, lover, girlfriend, whatever, friend keep invalidating you? Or why do you attract people who do a certain thing? So what's the recurring issue you might be having in your life right now? Just pop a note down into the comment section, and I'm going to pull a little card for everyone on how to get clear, which we're going to do a little exercise in just a sec, but how to get clear in a Mercury in retrograde in Pisces, that little slippery, beautiful, silvery shimmer of a, what is that? What just happened? That is Pisces. Pisces has approach avoidance. Oh, well, okay, beautiful. This is perfect, ideal for the Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Reflection. What is the world reflecting back to you right now in your life? What? What could it be? What's the reflection? What are you seeing? And how appropriate for Pisces, it being a fish symbol. And if you look into a pool of water and you see your own reflection, what does it say to you? You could be at a gym working out really hard, doing your thing, and suddenly you look up into the mirror. I usually avoid mirrors at the gym because it's not that I don't like or dislike what I see. I just don't want to be distracted by where my mind would go. If, oh my God, those pants are so tight on you. No, I'm not going there. I'm at the gym so that I can help myself, not to stop myself from progressing. So sometimes, you walk by a mirror, you look up and you say, is that what I look like? You record your voice and you say, is that what I sound like? Really? That's kind of weird. I don't know if I like that. Right? So that there comes the judgment. So hi, Crystal. All right. Anyone want to comment? What keeps recurring in their life? Let's do this exercise. Maybe this will help you to open up, and then you can let me know what just happened. So on your piece of paper, I'd like you to write down the, I would say 2. You can use 3, but the top 2 people in your life that things are not going well with. Let's say they're past boyfriends. That's an easy one to do, or past girlfriends. Former girlfriends or boyfriends. You can do that. Former employers, former employees. Just group them together. So let's just do that. Give me, and they could be present tense, but it's easier sometimes to look at the whole grouping. So, and I would do this with clients as well. So it's a very fun, easy to do exercise. So you write down the name of the person. Just put one name, Bob. And then under that, 3 behaviors that Bob has that don't sit well with you. Bob is judgmental. Bob is emotionally unavailable. Bob is angry. Okay? Now, Bob may have beautiful energies and beautiful behavioral traits, but we're looking at the negative ones. Okay? Now, pick another person right under that one. Let's say it's Janie. Janie is manipulative. Janie is fearful. Janie is a whiner. I don't, just pick a behavior of these people. Okay. Now you have your 2 people. You can start with 2. You can always come back and do this exercise later, and there's always plenty to do in life, right? So, I was just reading Christine's question, and all I saw was the word hemorrhoids, and I thought, ow. That's no fun. I'm sorry. Okay, so you have the person's name and 3 behavioral traits that are negative to you. You witness these things, and this person may have an excuse. You may have a reason why they did. We don't care. It's just, what are the behavioral traits? Okay, now you look at the first person. You take their name away, right? Just take their name away and draw a little equal sign next to each of the behavioral traits. So Bob is, whatever Bob was, negative or fearful or angry or arrogant. Okay. Now on the right side, you write down, are you fearful? You might be sometimes. You'd put a little check mark. Are you arrogant? You might say, no, I'm really not. Okay. Skip to the next one. Are you whatever that next behavior is? And as you assess for yourself what these behaviors are that you also have, those are the ones you want to circle. Those are the ones that will create recurring issues. And then you look at the next person. What's their behavior? And this is really great to do sometimes when you can't get clear on why you keep attracting the same person. Let's say a mate into your life, or a business partner, or I had a client who, no matter where he went in the country, he attracted the same boss. Different person, of course, same energy. And I said, well, give me, and this is where I developed this particular exercise many years ago. And I said, give me the top 3 behaviors that this person has. And he listed them. And one was, he felt the guy was sneaky. And the guy was demanding. And I forget what the third one was. So I said, well, are you demanding? And he said, I don't know. I don't think so. I said, okay. Then are you sneaky? And I said, you got to be really honest with this exercise. And he went, well, I don't always tell everyone what I'm doing or why. And I go, would you consider that sneaky? And he went, yeah. I said, okay. So you're going to attract who you are energetically, right? Does that make sense? So you want to look at what your behavior is by who you're attracting. That's one way to get really clear. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comment box. Hemorrhoids, if you look at any of Louise Hay's books, You Can Heal Your Life and You Can Heal Your Body, you can see, this is Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. This one I bought way back when it first came out, and I passed it around to all my friends, and they gave it back to me. It's all falling apart right now, but it's phenomenal because bodily parts are associated with behaviors and with fear. Certain fears. So you want to look at, if you look at what a hemorrhoid is, that's just a different version of fear for you. So, money issues, if they show up, it can always apply to your relationship to money. In fact, I have a whole course I do on that, which is phenomenal, how to clear your money karma. And it really helps you to get beyond your issues because it's never about money, really. The money issue will show up, and if you see something in your life, especially in your body will speak to you. Who you attract into your world, that can help you get clear by this exercise. Does anybody want to share with me who, the same kind of energy they keep attracting? Is it someone who's angry, someone who's passive? I had one client who just kept attracting the same passive guy over and over again. Different person. But it was like, laid back, we'll get to it tomorrow. And this woman client of mine was, high achiever. Super, super motivated. And so she was actually looking for someone to help her balance and harmonize her own vibe, but she didn't know how to do it internally. So she attracted it to her, and you will attract people to you. So when you make a list of all the people in your life and you pinpoint their negative behaviors, and then ask yourself, am I this? Now you might be that behavior once in a while. Okay. But if you're that behavior consistently, if you know it resonates with you, and don't be ashamed of that, because this is how you're going to get clear. Okay. That's going to help you get clear. And especially with what your reflection is, what you're reflecting in your life right now and what's coming to you. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment box if that makes sense. And let me know who's here. What's your birthday? Where are you from? Listen, I've got 5 more Mercury in retrograde sessions that I'm doing. And I'll be back on Thursday. And, as we get closer to the retrograde actually occurring, things will begin. And we're going to talk about that on Thursday. I'll make a note. And the 28th, I'll be back. And the turning of the tides, I like to call it. And when that happens, things start to go a little So come back and join me on Thursday. I'll be talking about that. And so let's look at that list again. The next time you want to get clear on why something keeps recurring in your life or what your body is undergoing, you can certainly use the Louise Hay book, or you can ask yourself, keep a dream journal, because a lot of times what you're not able to perceive or interpret consciously, logically, your dreams might start really amping up, especially where, it depends on where Mercury in retrograde shows up in your chart, but your dreams just suddenly might go, wow, what was that? And they'll turn into visions, and these visions will mean something to you. And we can also talk about that on Thursday. So let me make a note to talk about those kinds of dreams, because Neptune represents dreams and dreaming. And who's to say that this is not a dream right now? Everyone thinks, oh, this is reality because I'm awake and, I'm working and I'm getting stuff done. Well, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know this isn't the dream, right? So Wendy says, I'm a very strong person who attracts people who are emotionally weak. Okay, so then if you know that specifically emotional weakness and it bothers you, that's the kind of stuff you want to write about. And then to turn and look in the mirror and say, the very next time you want to cry, the very next time you feel like you're an underachiever, the very next time you feel like you're failing at something, the very next time you feel less than happy and motivated and productive, then those are the feelings you want to feel, and allow yourself to feel them, and then look in the mirror and then just be present with what it is and allow yourself to be emotional. Now, weak is a perception based on your own code. What's your code? If you have, maybe you were raised by someone who was failing all the time or struggling all the time. And if they're the same gender as you, you might look and go, that's not going to be me. I'm going to do everything opposite to make sure I don't become that. And then you grow up with that perception like, oh yeah, I'm a super achiever, but you keep attracting the weak or emotionally weak people who can't handle things. And maybe it's about you being able to just handle emotions and just be present with them without judging them or thinking that you're weak. Does that make sense? Because that's a big place for a lot of my clients have gone and have overcome, so that they stop judging, who they think they are. Who the heck do you think you are? I hope this makes sense and that it's helping you. Okay. Let me see if there's any more comments. Memphis Holly. Is your first name Memphis? That is cool if it is. Holly. Date of birth. Currently watching this feed thing. Is it feeding you? I hope so. I hope it's feeding you with love and compassion. And let me pull a card just for you. Memphis Holly. My husband and I were just in Nashville, Tennessee. And we didn't get to see any of it because we were inside. And it was pouring rain the whole time. But we were at a very beautiful hotel. I was very grateful. Okay. Oh, here's something for you, Memphis Holly. Manifestation. Let's extend it to everyone. What you manifest in life is based on your vibrant frequency and what you attract. So everything we just talked about. So if you want to get clear on something in your life that keeps recurring and you're like, why is this coming back? I don't know. Then you make a list of all the people. If you have them grouped in, why do I keep attracting the same lover? Why do I keep getting the same kind of job? Why do I keep attracting the same kind of person? Then you write these people's names down and you list their behaviors, their negative behaviors. Then take their names away, circle the behaviors that you also have consistently, not just once every 10 years, but consistently. And then the very next time you have that feeling, the very next time you are that emotion, the very next time you feel that thing, you want to be present with it. And you want to not judge it. I would say, if you are attracting this, like in Wendy's case, someone who you feel is emotionally weak, you look at that and say, okay, this person, all emotionally weak, but what else do they have? And am I that? And the very next time you are that, you take a deep breath and you just really fill yourself with light, sparkly light and love, and let yourself know that it's okay to be that as you transition out of that into something a little bit more neutral to positive. What would be the opposite is an extreme, so we want to slowly get there so that you're not making a big jump like, I'm never going to feel that again. You know, my mother, I did this exercise when I developed this through the one client, and then I started doing it for myself. And I wrote down, okay, I was having an issue with my mother pretty much, all my life. And I wanted to not have it anymore. I was tired of it because I had, in my early days, I'm 58, almost 59, kept attracting people to me who were that issue. And I thought, okay, I have to stop this. What am I doing? What am I not doing? What am I not seeing? And this is that Pisces energy of, what is it? I can't get clear. So I did this exercise where I wrote this down. I did it with a client that week, and then I did it for myself. And I put down the top 3 things that I thought my mother was that bothered me. Fearful and manipulative, and she embellished. She would tell stories and add on and go, as my husband would say, off to grandma's house. She would never put a period on the sentence. She would go. And I would never know what she was really saying or trying to say. And so that bothered me. So I went to my husband and I said, am I manipulative? And he said, no, not at all. And I said, do I embellish? And he said, well, sometimes when we have company, yeah. I went, really? Ooh, okay. That didn't feel good, but I thought, okay, I have to be aware of that. So the very next time we had company and I started to tell a story, I was so cognizant of not embellishing. I told the truth. I told the story in the way that I would tell a story. And I feel like, okay, I did it. I got rid of that behavior. So that's how to do it, is to get conscious with what it is, okay? That's what we're going to do. Okay, folks, I'll be back on Thursday, and we're going to talk more about what happens when Mercury in retrograde turns, or when any planet turns into retrograde. And we're going to talk about your dreams and what you can glean from your dreams and how to use them, especially in this Pisces, very dreamy retrograde. So, what I'd like you to be able to do in the next week or two is to keep an eye on your technology, and also keep an eye on your intentions, especially online banking, anything dealing with digital stuff and your money, to alleviate that idea that you're a victim. Because if you buy something online, that's fine. If it's a reputable place, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. You just want to make sure that places like Facebook, social media, that you keep your passwords handy, especially if you're traveling, if you need to get in somewhere and you can't because you don't remember your password, or if it's a banking thing, to change your passwords regularly over time so that you stay protected as much as you can. Okay? Other than that, have a beautiful day. Be sparkly, be free, be present, and use that compassion and pass it along, because we need this in the world right now, right, folks? Okay, I will see you on Thursday, and we'll talk more about your dreams. So come back and join me. Be well. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and also, I got 5 sessions left. So if you want to overcome this issue that you might have of, whatever the recurring issue is, click on the blue Book Now button. Or if Dean is present, I don't know, he's working in his office, but he might post a link. If not, you've got the the blue book now button. All right. And we can have a very lengthy, very profound session where for the next year to 2 years, you can actually get back on track with the thing that you'd like to manifest and create. Okay, folks, be well. I'll see you again.